Hello students, welcome back to the class. So the last classes we have discussed about the preamble of Indian Constitution, salient features of Indian Constitution. In that salient features of Indian Constitution, in the last classes we have discussed about what is meant by preamble, and we have discussed about the lengthiest written constitution in the world. So in the last classes we have discussed about preamble of Indian Constitution, which is called as index, and preamble is nothing but the content of the constitution. Preamble of constitutions defines aims and the objective of the constitution. Then we have discussed about lengthiest written constitution. India's constitution is one of the lengthiest written constitution in the world because our constitution contains different type of articles and schedules. So in our Indian constitution containing nearly 444 articles and 12 schedules, and that's why this is one of the lengthiest written constitution in the world. If you are comparing that these constitutions with any other country like America is also one of the democratic country. They have only 295 articles, but when we are comparing their articles with ours, so we have 444 articles, and that's why we are the lengthiest written constitution in the world. Okay, and so far we have also discussed in the previous classes that among all the constitution, more amendments were made in the Indian constitution. As soon as the time passes, we need to amend some rules and regulations. We have to change. We need to amend the constitution. So to amend the constitution also, so far 98 times we have amended the constitutions. So last classes we have discussed about these two things. Now in these classes we will discuss about fundamental rights. In these classes we will discuss about directive principle, and we will discuss about fundamental duties and what is called universal adult franchise. Okay, I am going forward. So first one, fundamental rights. Now what is meant by fundamental rights are nothing but the rights which are given to the citizen of the country, the rights which are considered as the basic rights. This is the basic rights. So this constitution has given the fundamental rights which are basic rights. These rights were given to the citizen of the country. Okay, so that citizens should enjoy these rights. Okay, whenever if you are living in any country, for every country fundamental rights are common. In America also we can find fundamental rights are common. So in Indian constitution also fundamental rights were given to the citizens. There are nearly 7 fundamental rights are there. Okay, overall if you are taking about fundamental rights, how many fundamental rights are there? Nearly 7 fundamental rights are there. Right to equality. Okay, first fundamental right, right to equality. Okay, right to freedom, right to religious freedom, right against exploitation, right to property. Okay, right to constitution remedies. Okay, and one more is cultural and education right. Okay, cultural and education right, that also we can find. So right to equality, right to freedom, right to religious freedom, right against exploitation, okay, right to property, right to constitution remedies, cultural and education right. This is also one right, cultural and education right. So overall if we are taking, we have nearly how many fundamental rights? 7 fundamental rights we have there. So this is one part. So right to property. First important fundamental rights denotes right to equality. Right to equality in the sense all the citizens are equal in front of law and in front of government. All the citizens are equal in front of law. All the citizens are equal in front of government. All are equal, either man or either woman. All the citizens are equal in front of law and in front of government. There will be no discrimination. We should not done among the man as well as women, high classes as well as low class, rich as well as poor, whatever might be, higher position or lower position. Almost all the people in front of government and in front of constitution and in front of law, all the citizens will denote equality. Almost all the people are equal in our country. Okay, that denotes right to equality. So right to equality in the sense citizens are equal in front of law. When any citizens will do any mistakes, they will be given same punishment. And whenever the government are implementing any policies, these policies will mainly benefits all the peoples. So in front of government, all the people are equal. So whenever the government is enacting any law, when government is formulating any policies. So everybody should follow the law whenever the government will implement law, and whenever the government provides any policies, benefits, then every person will get the benefits of the policy. So nobody will deny. Okay, nobody will deny in the basis of caste, nobody will deny in the basis of religion. So all the people, nobody will deny it in the basis of gender. So all the people are equal in front of government, and all the people are equal in front of law. So that's why this rights is called as right to equality. So whenever there is any opportunities, okay, whenever the government will provide any opportunities, so all the people will get opportunities equally. Okay, so this denotes right to equality. So according to right to equality, all the people and all the citizens are equal in front of law. All the citizens are equal in front of law, and all the citizens are equal in front of government. Whenever the government will start any policies, or whenever the government is enacting any policies, so whenever the government start policies, all the people will get benefits about the policies equally. Whenever the government is formulating any law, every person have to obey the law, and when government is providing any opportunities, every person will get equal opportunities. So this denotes right to equality. Next important right we'll study about right to freedom. Right to freedom is also one of the important right. According to this right, all the people are getting free. All the people are having freedom. Okay, what type of freedom? Freedom to every person are free to do any activities. Okay, every person are right to free, but that should be according to the law. Okay, so freedom to speech. First one, every person have right to speech. Freedom to express. Freedom to form union. What type of freedom? Whenever we are talking about freedom, every person have right to speech. That is one type of freedom. Every person have right to express their views. If any person have right to view, if any person have any views, they have right to express their views. That is also one type of freedom. Every person have right to form unions. Okay, already we have discussed every person have right to form union, and every person have right to form associations. Okay, so every person are these types of freedom will be given to all the people. Freedom in the form of speech, freedom in the form of expression, freedom in the form of association, etc. So these types of freedoms were given to all the people. So that is called as freedom. Right to speech and right to expression is very important in every democratic country. Okay, there are some countries when you are going, these types of freedoms and expressions will be controlled by government. But in every democratic country, these are the important rights. Okay, freedom to criticize the government. Right to freedom in the sense, one more point, freedom to criticize government. So whenever the government policies are not good, people have right to criticize the government. So this is also one type of freedom. So freedom is not only restricted in speech, freedom is not only restricted in expression, freedom is not only restricted in forming unions and forming association. At the same time, when the people of country, if they wanted to criticize, they have right to criticize the government. So these all, so when they can criticize the government, when the policies and the plans are not favorable, then people have right to criticize the government. So this is about right to freedom. Next we'll go forward. Important right, one is called as religious freedom. Third important right, what is meant by religious freedom means, according to this religious freedom, okay, this all comes under freedom. Okay, right to speech, right to express, right to form union, this comes under freedom. Now normally when we are talking about religious freedom means freedom in terms of religion. Every person can protect the religion, every person can promote religion. If people wanted to promote the religion, they have right. People wanted to protect their culture, if the people wanted to protect the culture, they have right. If the people wanted to protect the religious culture, they have right. If the people wanted to propagate, or if the people wanted to perform the religious activities, if the people wanted to perform the religious activities, they have right. The people wanted to perform their festivals, Okay, performing festivals they have right. So this all rights comes under right to the religious freedom, means every person have right to protect their religious belief. If any person wanted to perform the religious activities, they have right to perform the religious activity. If any person wanted to perform the festivals, they have right to perform the festivals. So like that rights which are mainly related to the religion, the freedom which are mainly given towards religion. So these types of freedoms, religious freedom, in that different type of rights were given to the citizens. So citizens can protect the rights, citizens can protect their religion. If citizen wanted to promote the religion, they have right. Okay, citizens have right to protect the religion, citizens have right to promote the religion. If they wanted to perform any religious activities, they have right. If they wanted to conduct or if they wanted to celebrate the festivals regarding religion, they have right. So these types of freedom which comes under the religious freedom. Next we will go forward, right against exploitation. Right against exploitation in the sense, okay, exploitation. So this right against exploitation was derived from the article 23 and 24. So exploitation is nothing but whenever you have right to protect yourself from exploitations being used. Okay, whenever if you are using, then the required amount, whenever the people are exploiting you, making you to perform the activities, okay, without your will. So whenever if you are performing any activities without your will, that is called as right to exploitation. For example, forced labor. Okay, when you are forcing the laborers to perform the activities without his will, so that is also comes under the exploitation. So right to exploitation we can find in the article 23 and 24. In these two articles we can find right to exploitation. Okay, in this right to exploitation there are some rights which are given to protect the children. One is called child rights, forced labors. Okay, so these are the important rights. So in the olden days we know that in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, Vetti system was there. Vetti system, this is a type of system which was implemented. In Vetti system, zamindars what they used to do, they used to force the laborers, they used to take the laborers and they used to make them to work for a long period of time without their will. So whenever if you are forcing any laborers to perform the activities without against their will, that comes under right to exploitations. So to protect the right in constitution, what they have did, according to article 23 and 24, okay, forced labors cannot be performed, okay, bonded labor cannot perform, children should not allowed to work in the factory. So like that various rules and regulations were implemented regarding right to exploitation. Okay, that is one point. So right against exploitation, understanding. So we are against exploitations. So government have enacted many laws, particularly children are being exploited. So to protect the rights of the children, okay, against this exploitation, the government have enacted many law. To protect the forced labors, government have enacted many law. According to article 23 and 24, okay, government enacted many law against exploitations. So exploitation is nothing but whenever you are exploiting the laborers, whenever you are making the workers to work without against their will. So that comes under right to exploitation. Okay, in this right to exploitation, one of the important law which was enacted is children should not allow to work in the factories. So that also comes under right to exploitation. We should not force the laborers. Okay, we should not force laborers without performing their activities against their will. We should not do. Next come to the point, right to constitution remedies. So now right to property. According to right to property, this is also, in this right to property, government has made fundamental right as legal rights. Right to property is also one of the fundamental rights. But at present situation, if you see, right to property was deleted from the fundamental rights and it was made as a legal rights. So every person have right upon the property. Okay, every person have right upon their property. So that is right to property. But right to property was now amended according to 44th amendment. Okay, so according to 44th amendment, right to property was removed from the fundamental list and it was made as legal rights. Okay, so this fundamental rights was made as legal rights. Now cultural and education right. So every person have right to receive the cultural and education. This is also one important fundamental right. So government have enacted many laws. So government have promoted many laws to provide education and culture to the citizens. So when these rights are very important right, cultural and education right. So every person have right to receive, every person have right to develop the culture, every person have right to receive the proper education. These proper educations can be received through various means of communication. They can receive from the radio, they can receive from telecommunication, they can receive from the newspaper. So they can able to develop the education, and to provide this government have enacted many policies regarding education. Okay, so to develop this right, government have enacted many laws and many policies regarding education. So that is about cultural and education right. So these cultural and education rights were mainly given to all the people. Okay. So this is also one of the important right, cultural and education right, and particularly the children have right to receive the education, and government have formulated many laws and many policies to protect these fundamental rights. Okay, in order to develop the fundamental rights, government have opened many schools. Okay, from that the government have enacted many education for the childrens. Okay, this is one point. And last one of the important right, which is called right to constitution remedies. So this is also one of the important fundamental rights. These fundamental rights are called as right to constitution remedies. Okay, what is meant by right to constitution remedies means these rights will empower the citizens to go to the court of law if any citizens feel that they are not enjoying the fundamental rights. Okay, according to right to constitution remedies, if any citizens feel that they are not getting proper fundamental rights, then these citizens can go to court. They can able to approach court. Okay, so this right is empowering the citizens. If any citizens feel that they are not able to get fundamental rights because of some reasons, then these citizens to get fundamental rights, they can take the help of court also. They can go to court. According to Article 32 to 35, Article 32 to 35 mainly deals with mainly enacted with right to constitution remedies. Okay, fundamental rights are very important. So people have right to receive the fundamental rights. If the people are not getting fundamental rights, they have right to go to court also, court of law. Even the government cannot take the rights of the citizens. Government also have no right to take the fundamental rights of the citizens. Fundamental rights, nobody can take that right from you. So imagine that if any citizens are not getting the proper fundamental rights, all these 7 fundamental rights, if they are not getting, then they have right to go to court of law. They can take the support of court of law to achieve the fundamental rights. So this right was enacted according to Article 32 to 35. Okay, when you open the constitution or when you opening the book of constitution, there we can find the Article 32 to 35 mainly deals with right to constitution remedies. So that is one point. So in this fundamental rights, we have discussed that this is one of the basic rights, and these rights were given to the citizens. According to the right to constitution remedies, we have discussed that if any citizens are not getting all these fundamental rights, then they have right to go to the court. They can take the support of the court of law. So one is right to equality, right to freedom, right to religious freedom, right against exploitation, right to constitution remedies, right to property, cultural and education right. These are the important fundamental rights. Anyhow, we have discussed right to property. Right to property was deleted from the fundamental rights and it was made as a legal right. The right to property was deleted from the fundamental rights according to 44th Amendment. Amendment, already I said, what is meant by amending is nothing but changing the constitution and changing the law. So that this law was changed. So right to property was removed, and now the right to property was made as legal right. But now 2007 okay, so these are the fundamental right. But normally when we are talking about the current right to property was deleted. So after deleting right to property, today also we have 7 fundamental rights only. Before we have seven fundamental rights including right to property. But today also we have 7 fundamental rights only. How? Because right to property was deleted. When right to property was deleted, then we should have 6 fundamental rights today. In place of right to property, right to information, government has provided one right which is called right to information. This is one fundamental rights. So government have enacted one right which is called right to information. According to the right to information, every person, these laws were enacted in 2007. 2007. So this is also one of the important right to information. This right was implemented in 2007. So according to this right, if any people wanted to receive any information from any public organization, they have right. Suppose if you wanted to get any information from any department, or if you wanted to get any information from any industry which are related to the public, then you can get that information easily. So okay, so this is called right to information. So normally information is very important for making any projects. Imagine that you are a children, if you wanted to make any projects, and for making projects, if you are needed different type of information is important. So suppose if you wanted to get information, or if you wanted to need information, you went to the public department, so they will cooperate with you and they will provide different type of information to you. So when we are talking about fundamental rights, we should talk about right to information. This is also one fundamental rights. Okay children. Now in this topic we have discussed about these fundamental rights. These fundamental rights are completely incorporated in the part 3rd, okay, of the article 12 to 35. In this article 12 to article 35, we can find mainly these articles deals with only fundamental rights. Okay, so whatever the articles we can find, these articles which are related to 12 to 35 articles, this from 12 to 35 articles are mainly dealing with fundamental rights only. Okay children, this is one point. Next we will go forward. One more important right, which is called directive principles. Okay, these directive principles were incorporated in Indian Constitution. Okay, this incorporated in Indian Constitution according to part 4th. So directive principles are incorporated part 4. Constitutions were divided into different parts. So directive principles are incorporated in part 4 of Indian Constitution, and this mainly deals with the article 36 to 59. So children, already we know that from article 12 to 35 mainly these articles are related with fundamental rights. Article 36 to 59, most of the articles are related with directive principle of state policy. Okay, now what is called directive principles of state policy? This is very important, very simple. Directive principle of state policy is very simple. The guidelines which are given by central government to the state government. Who will give more guidelines? Central government has given, central government will give some guidelines to the state government. So that guidelines are called as directive principles. Now you will ask a question, sir, what is guidelines? Guidelines are nothing but to develop the state. Central government, what is the main ambition of central government? To develop the state. Central government wanted state should develop, and that's why central government will give guidelines. So central government will give guidelines to the state government to develop. What are the guidelines? So first one, developing roads. This is one guideline. Okay, improving sanitation. This is one guideline. Okay, in states, what are the things which are very important to develop? We need roads, we need electricity. Roads are important, electricity, schools, colleges, small scale industries, cottage industries. So these are nothing but the guidelines which are given by central government to state government to develop that. Okay, construction of roads, construction of public libraries, improving the sanitation, providing water facilities, electric facilities, development of government schools, development of colleges. So these are the guidelines, these are the implements the central government will use the guidelines to the state government to develop. Now it depends upon state government to follow the guidelines or not. Okay, if the state government will have resources, then state government will develop. So difference between the fundamental rights and directive principle is that in fundamental rights, suppose if you are not getting, you can go to court. You can approach court of law according to right to constitution remedies we have discussed. Fundamental rights are compulsorily, we should get these rights. So if you are not getting fundamental rights, we can go to the court. But directive principles are not compulsorily, means when you are not getting directive principle rights, you can't go to court. For example, schools. In any states when there is no proper school, people cannot approach court. In any places when there is no proper roads, people cannot approach court. Okay, central government has given guidelines to develop the state. Okay, central government has given many guidelines to develop the state. Construction of water, construction of sanitation, public health, hospitals, schools, colleges. Now, if the state government not developing all these activities, the citizens cannot approach the court of law. So this is one point. Now, So whatever the, now many states are there. In these states all facilities, some states having good facilities, some states having no good facilities like roads, sanitation, etc. In the states if they have facilities are not good, then the citizens cannot approach court. So directive principle and fundamental right, that is only the difference. In fundamental rights is the basic rights. When the people are not getting fundamental rights, they can approach the court of law and they can get that right and they can have that right. Directive principles are nothing but the guidelines which central government are given to the state government, that is called guidelines. Development of roads, sanitation, health, basic needs. Imagine that when the citizens are not getting all these rights, they cannot go to court. So this is mainly a difference between the fundamental rights and directive principle. Fundamental rights are compulsorily everybody should get, but this is not compulsory. Directive principles are not compulsory like fundamental rights. So this is mainly a difference between the fundamental rights and this is mainly a difference between directive principles. Okay children, we will stop our class and in the next classes we will meet you in the next class. In this next class we will discuss about the remaining part and the remaining features of silent features of Indian constitutions. Silent features are nothing but main features of the Indian constitution we will discuss in the next class. Okay, thank you very much.